day everyone, you're welcome to Prospect Channel TV. Here we give you the latest updates of Nigerian news. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. If you have not, please kindly do so by pressing the subscribe button. Thank you very much once again. God bless you. The new Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari, Professor Gamabari, clashed with Boss Mustapha over sack of the TCN Managing Director as Labour-backed federal government. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, and the new Chief of Staff to the President Muhammadu Buhari, Professor Ibrahim Gamabari, are in dispute. Their recent clash was occasioned by the sack of the former Managing Director of Transmission Company of Nigeria, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed. The Minister of Power, Mr. Çlåsh, through the Office of the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gamabari, sought his removal. The request for the removal of the Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Mr. Guru Mohammed, came following his misconduct. In response to the request, the Chief of Staff to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, replied with a letter addressed to the Minister of Power. In the letter, he said that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the immediate relief of the appointment of the former Managing Director of the Transmission Company. The letter also recommended that the appointment of Mr. Çlåsh as the new Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. He is to serve in acting capacity pending the submission of the new list of the Board and Management Committee of the Transmission Company of Nigeria by the Power Minister of the President. However, upon the sacking of the former MD of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, is not comfortable with the process. Consequently, he has pitched a hoe on his removal, saying that he did not follow due process. Sequel to his argument, he claimed that he was not consulted when the Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria was going to be sacked. Therefore, the SGF has released a circular in order to school the President and his Chief of Staff. On the letter, he stated what should be the normal procedure when the head of any agency of government is to be removed on the ground of serious misconduct. On a circular, the SGF boss Mustapha said the removal of the former Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria is arbitrary. He claimed that such method of removing heads of government agencies have attendant consequences on the stability of such agencies. It will also affect the ability to deliver effectively and satisfactorily. Mr. Boss Mustapha stated that when an hearing officer of the executive committed a serious misconduct, it is the duty of the supervising minister to write to the governing board of that agency. The minister must write through the permanent secretary of the affected agency for necessary action. Then, at this point, it is the duty of the board of the affected agency to issue a query to the embattled officer. Then, The alleged hearing officer will have to answer to the query as issued based on his filed misconduct. Following this due process, the board must forward their findings and recommendations to the supervising minister for onward consideration. Even at this junction, the supervising minister cannot unilaterally, Even at this junction, the supervising minister cannot override these actions. He shall refer the report of the board to the Secretary of the Federation. Once the Secretary of the Federation receives the report, he must act immediately, he said. The minister must constitute an independent body to investigate the alleged misconduct of the officer, and upon completion of the independent investigation, the Secretary to the Federation would advise the President on further action to take. He urged that no minister has the power to remove the head of any agency without going through the normal disciplinary procedure. This disciplinary procedure must be approved by the President. Meanwhile, a report contradicted his claim that the action of removing the TCN managing director was illegal. The source, who did not want his identity to be revealed, said that the action of Mr. Boss Mustapha is a direct insult to the president. The source said that it was the president who ordered the removal of Mr. Guru Mohammed through the Minister of Power. Information from Daily Sun cited a source which said that President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered all correspondence to pass through his chief of staff. It frowned at the SGF action, calling it an affront to both the president and his chief of staff. On the other hand, the Nigeria Labour Congress has punched Boss Mustapha's action. This is done on his letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, signed by the General Secretary of Labour, Mr. Omar Abubakar. The Labour movement was perplexed over the fact that the action of SGF is targeted on bringing back the sacked MD. They vow that the Labour Union in the power sector will not fail to embark on strike if the former managing director of TCN is recalled. The union used that opportunity to urge Mr. President to restate their president, Mr. Chris Okonkwo, who served with the Senior Staff Association of Electrical and Allied Companies. Unfortunately, his appointment was wrongfully terminated. According to Umar, he warned that Labour will take action if their requests are attended to appropriately. This letter queries why the SGF boss Mustapha is trying to render the ministers helplessness in their ministry. The union accused boss Mustapha of trying to make the ministers depend on him before they can take action in their supervising ministries. In a related development, the national coordinator of the union, Mr. Musa Daoub, in a communique signed by him, has intimidated President Muhammadu Buhari to investigate Boss Mustapha's special interest in the power sector, noting that the SGF have been working around the clock to restate the SAC MD since its removal. The dismay of the former chief of staff to the president, Mr. Abba Kyari, President Muhammadu Buhari brought about the appointment of Professor Ibrahim Gamabari as the new chief of staff. Gamabari is known to have this is known to be disloyal to his superiors. So hello guys, I'm going to drop it here. Don't forget to leave your opinion on this. Thank you very much.